His message found you for a reason. Archangel Michael confirms it. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if your eyes landed here, if your thumb paused even for a second, this message is for you, and your heart needs this right now in a way you might not even fully understand yet. Listen carefully. This is not random, not coincidence, not just another video in a long feed. Archangel Michael says this message found you because something inside you was ready to hear it, even if your mind didn't know what it was searching for, and that quiet pull you felt to stop scrolling was your soul recognizing truth before logic could interfere. Don't scroll, because you've been standing at a threshold without realizing it, feeling like something was shifting, something was ending, something was about to begin, but without clear proof, just a feeling in your chest, a heaviness mixed with hope, and listen to this, that feeling was the signal, not the confusion. Your heart needs this right now because you've been questioning timing, wondering why certain doors closed, why some people drifted, why plans didn't unfold the way you expected, and Archangel Michael says those delays were not denials, they were protection rearranging your path so you wouldn't walk into what would drain you instead of fulfill you. Don't scroll, this message is for you because you've been waking up differently lately, more aware, more sensitive to energy, less tolerant of what once felt normal, and that is not you becoming difficult, that is spiritual awakening sharpening your discernment. Listen to this, awakening doesn't always feel peaceful at first, it can feel isolating, emotional, even confusing, because your old self and your future self are overlapping, and that overlap creates tension. But tension is how transformation announces itself quietly. Your heart needs this right now because you are not losing anything real, you are shedding what cannot follow you. Don't scroll, Archangel Michael wants you to know that signs from the universe have been surrounding you, angel numbers repeating when you least expect them, 1111 when you were doubting yourself, 222 when you needed reassurance, 444 when you felt exhausted but kept going. And listen carefully, those were not just numbers, they were confirmations saying, keep going, even if you can't see the whole picture yet. Don't scroll, because this message also reaches into love and soulmate energy, and your heart feels that too, maybe through longing, maybe through release, maybe through the ache of something unfinished, and Archangel Michael says if someone has been on your mind lately, if emotions surfaced unexpectedly, it's because alignment is working behind the scenes, not forcing reunion, not creating chaos, but revealing truth. Listen to this, real soul connections don't thrive on confusion, they grow in clarity, safety, and recognition, and if something faded or felt heavy, it wasn't meant to continue into your next chapter. Your heart needs this right now because peace is the sign, not intensity. Don't scroll, you may have felt like you've been repeating cycles, giving too much, waiting too long, explaining yourself where you should have been understood, and Archangel Michael says this message found you because that cycle is ending, not with drama, but with awareness, and awareness is the most powerful interruption there is. Listen to this, the moment you see a pattern clearly, it loses control over you. Don't scroll, because choosing to stay with this message instead of moving on is already proof that something in you has shifted. You are no longer running from stillness, you are listening to it, and stillness is where guidance speaks. Your heart needs this right now because guidance doesn't shout, it whispers, and you finally slowed down enough to hear it. Don't scroll, Archangel Michael says your future is not waiting for you somewhere far away, it is responding to you right now, adjusting itself to the version of you who is learning to pause, to trust, to choose differently. Listen to this, the universe moves when you move with integrity, not urgency. Don't scroll, you may be wondering what comes next, when the breakthrough happens, when the clarity becomes visible, and listen carefully. The first breakthrough already happened. You didn't scroll away, you stayed present, and presence changes timelines. Your heart needs this right now because destiny doesn't activate when you chase it, it activates when you align with it. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael confirms this gently and firmly. This message found you for a reason, not to scare you, not to rush you, but to remind you that you are protected, guided, and not behind, even if it sometimes feels that way. Listen to this: nothing meant for you has missed you, and nothing that missed you was meant to stay. Don't scroll. As this part comes to a close, stay with this feeling for a moment, the calm beneath the words, the sense that something just settled inside you. That's not imagination, that's recognition, and recognition is the soul's way of saying, yes, this is for me. Archangel Michael confirms it one last time for this part. This message didn't interrupt your scrolling by accident, it arrived exactly when you were ready to hear it, and what unfolds next will make sense not because it was loud, but because it was aligned. Stay with this energy, because the story is only beginning. Don't scroll, listen to this, because if you are here for part 2, Archangel Michael is now speaking to why everything felt confusing right before this message found you, and your heart needs this right now more than you realize. Listen carefully. There is always a moment before alignment locks in where things feel emotionally unclear, where timing feels off, where answers seem delayed, and that stage is not punishment, it is preparation, because clarity cannot land in a mind that is still attached to old expectations. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you've been feeling the weight of unanswered questions, wondering why certain prayers felt quiet, why signs appeared without explanation, why your emotions surfaced in waves instead of lines, and Archangel Michael says confusion is not failure, confusion is the shedding of outdated understanding. Listen to this: when the universe prepares to redirect your path, it first loosens your grip on the old map, and that loosening can feel like disorientation before it feels like freedom. Your heart needs this right now because you were never meant to stay in what required constant effort just to feel okay. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to know that the emotional heaviness you felt recently was not because you were doing something wrong, it was because you were doing something honest. You were questioning patterns instead of repeating them, you were noticing what drained you instead of numbing yourself to it, and awareness can feel heavier than ignorance before it feels lighter. Listen to this: awakening does not arrive as joy first, it arrives as truth, and truth can feel uncomfortable when it interrupts survival habits. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you were standing between who you were taught to be and who you are becoming, and that space can feel lonely, confusing, and emotionally intense, but Archangel Michael says that space is sacred. It is where destiny recalibrates itself around your awareness. Your heart needs this right now because you are not lost, you are in transition. Don't scroll. Signs from the universe intensified during this phase, but not to overwhelm you, to keep you steady. Angel numbers showed up like quiet check-ins, 1111 reminding you that alignment was closer than it felt, 222 encouraging balance when emotions pulled you in opposite directions, 44 surrounding you with protection when doubt crept in at night. And listen carefully, those signs appeared most often when you questioned yourself, not when you felt confident, because reassurance arrives where uncertainty lives. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael says your intuition was sharpening during this time, but sharp intuition can feel uncomfortable because it removes excuses. You could no longer ignore what didn't feel right, you could no longer pretend certain connections were sustainable, and you could no longer silence your own needs, and that honesty disrupted comfort, not because comfort was healthy, but because it was familiar. Your heart needs this right now because familiarity is not the same as safety. Don't scroll. This phase also touched your love life deeply. Soulmate energy stirred emotions you thought you had settled, memories resurfaced, feelings reappeared, questions arose, and Archangel Michael says that did not happen to pull you backward, it happened to complete a lesson. Completion doesn't always look like closure conversations, sometimes it looks like emotional clarity, realizing what you deserve without needing explanation from the other side. Listen to this. Clarity is closure that doesn't depend on another person's readiness. Don't scroll. Your future could not open until your heart understood this truth. Love meant for you does not require confusion, chasing, or emotional exhaustion. Recognition feels calm, mutual, and safe, and if something felt intense but unstable, that intensity was a teacher, not a destination. Your heart needs this right now because you are done mistaking lessons for lifetimes. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael also wants you to understand why things slowed down instead of speeding up. Slowing is how alignment prevents you from repeating cycles. Urgency feeds repetition, patience feeds redirection, and the universe slowed your pace so your awareness could catch up to your destiny. Listen to this. When things slow, it's because something important is being protected. Don't scroll. You may have felt tempted to rush decisions, reconnect prematurely, or settle for clarity that didn't feel complete, and Archangel Michael says restraint during that phase mattered, because choosing too quickly would have locked you back into what you were meant to outgrow. Your heart needs this right now because restraint is strength you didn't know you had. Don't scroll. The reason this message found you after that confusing phase is because confirmation only lands once understanding is possible, and now you are ready to hear what would have sounded impossible before, that you are guided, protected, and not behind. Listen to this. Timing doesn't reveal itself until you stop fighting it. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize how much you've already changed. You pause now where you once reacted. You question now where you once accepted, you rest now where you once forced progress, and these changes are subtle but permanent. Your heart needs this right now because small shifts create irreversible futures. Don't scroll. As part 2 settles, notice how the confusion you felt before no longer feels as heavy when viewed from this perspective. That's not coincidence, that's integration, understanding settling into place. Archangel Michael confirms this gently. The phase you just moved through was not meant to break you, it was meant to prepare you to receive clarity without fear, and because you stayed, because you listened, and because you didn't scroll away when it got uncomfortable, the next phase will not require confusion to teach you. It will arrive with steadiness, recognition, and peace, and what comes next will feel different not because it's dramatic, but because it finally fits. Don't scroll. Listen to this carefully, because if you are here for part 3, Archangel Michael is now speaking to the quiet confirmation phase, the moment when truth stops knocking loudly and starts settling gently inside you, and your heart needs this right now because this is where most people doubt themselves, not because nothing is happening, but because everything is happening without chaos. Listen closely. After confusion fades and clarity arrives, there is a stillness that follows, and that stillness can feel strange if you were used to emotional highs and lows, constant thinking, constant searching, constant effort, but Archangel Michael says this calm is not emptiness, it is alignment stabilizing itself. Don't scroll. This message is for you because you may have wondered why you suddenly feel less reactive, less anxious, less pulled to explain yourself, and that is not you becoming disconnected, it is you becoming grounded. Listen to this. Grounded people don't need to convince, chase, or rush, they recognize and allow. Your heart needs this right now because peace can feel unfamiliar when chaos once felt normal. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to know that during this phase, the universe stops giving loud signs and starts giving subtle confirmations, and subtle confirmations require trust. You may notice things lining up quietly, conversations resolving without drama, decisions feeling obvious instead of stressful, emotions settling instead of spiking, and listen carefully. that is guidance working efficiently, not disappearing. Don't scroll, angel numbers still appear, but now they feel like reassurance instead of urgency. 1111 no longer screams, "Wake up," it whispers, "You're aligned." 222 feels like balance holding steady, not balance being searched for. 44 feels like protection surrounding you when you choose rest instead of force. Your heart needs this right now because reassurance replaces anxiety when trust deepens. Don't scroll. This phase also affects how you see your past. Memories may resurface not with pain, but with understanding, and Archangel Michael says this is integration, not regression. You are seeing the lessons without reliving the wounds, and that means healing has completed a major cycle. Listen to this: healed memories no longer demand emotion, they offer wisdom. Don't scroll. Love and soulmate energy feel different here too, less charged, more clear. You may realize that what you once longed for was actually recognition, not attachment, and now that recognition has shifted inward, you are no longer searching for someone to confirm your worth. Your heart needs this right now because self-recognition is what allows healthy love to arrive. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael says this is the stage where the universe removes urgency from love. You no longer feel pressure to fix, chase, or force connection, because alignment teaches patience without fear, and patience without fear is a sign of readiness, not delay. Listen to this: love meant for you will not require emotional labor to sustain itself. Don't scroll. You may notice that certain people fade naturally during this phase, conversations become shorter, connections feel complete, and this is not loss, it is alignment reorganizing your energy, making space for what can meet you at your current level of awareness. Your heart needs this right now because space is not emptiness, it is invitation. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that stability can feel boring to the part of you that survived chaos, but boring is just peace without adrenaline, and peace without adrenaline is safety, not stagnation. Listen to this: you are not losing passion, you are losing volatility. Don't scroll. This phase also affects your relationship with control. You may feel less compelled to plan every outcome, predict every reaction, or prepare for disappointment, and Archangel Michael says that release is not irresponsibility, it is trust learning to breathe. Your heart needs this right now because control dissolves when trust matures. Don't scroll. You may still hear fear whispering that calm means nothing is happening, but listen carefully. Seeds grow in silence, not noise, and alignment builds roots before it grows branches. Don't scroll. Attach this truth to your heart: the most important changes do not announce themselves, they stabilize first. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael says this stage is where your intuition becomes quiet but precise. You no longer overanalyze choices, you feel the right direction instantly, and that clarity arrives as relief, not excitement. Your heart needs this right now because relief is the body's confirmation of truth. Don't scroll. You may find yourself drawn to simplicity, quieter moments, fewer explanations, and that is not withdrawal. It is discernment choosing quality over quantity. Listen to this: discernment is wisdom expressing itself practically. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael also speaks to purpose here. Your goals may feel less dramatic and more meaningful, less about proving something and more about sustaining yourself. And that shift matters, because purpose rooted in peace lasts longer than purpose rooted in validation. Your heart needs this right now because lasting fulfillment does not require constant motivation. Don't scroll. As this part comes to a close, stay with the sensation beneath the words, that grounded calm, that quiet certainty, that sense that you are no longer searching, just allowing. That feeling is not temporary. It is alignment settling into place. Archangel Michael confirms this with unwavering calm: the reason this message found you, the reason you stayed, The reason this phase feels different is because your future is no longer trying to get your attention, it already has it, and from this point forward, what unfolds will not need to convince you, rush you, or overwhelm you. It will feel natural, steady, and unmistakably right. Because you are finally standing in a place where truth doesn't have to shout to be heard. Don't scroll, listen to this all the way through, because if you are here for part 4, Archangel Michael is now speaking to the moment your outer world begins to rearrange itself to match the inner truth you've accepted, and your heart needs this right now because this phase can feel confusing if you don't recognize what's happening. Listen carefully. When alignment settles inside you, life doesn't instantly become perfect. It becomes honest, and honesty reveals what no longer fits, what can no longer stay hidden, and what was only surviving on your silence, effort, or overgiving. Don't scroll. This message is for you because situations may feel sharper now, not heavier, but clearer. Conversations may feel more direct, decisions may feel unavoidable, and Archangel Michael says this is not pressure, this is clarity asking to be honored. Your heart needs this right now because clarity does not arrive to punish you, it arrives to free you. Don't scroll. You may notice that people respond differently to you now. Some step closer with respect, some pull away quietly, some test boundaries that never existed before, and listen carefully. None of this is random. Alignment removes the fog, and when the fog lifts, truth becomes visible, including who benefits from your old patterns and who respects your growth. Your heart needs this right now because truth reveals where energy is mutual and where it was one-sided. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to understand something crucial here. The universe does not remove what you still need, it reveals what you no longer do, and revelation can feel uncomfortable if you were hoping things would stay the same just a little longer. But listen to this, staying the same is not protection, it's delay. Don't scroll. This phase often brings moments where you are asked to choose again, not dramatically, but quietly, to speak when you would have stayed silent, to rest when you would have pushed, to walk away when you would have explained yourself into exhaustion. And these choices matter more than the big ones, because they are where alignment proves itself. Your heart needs this right now because small choices create permanent shifts. Don't scroll. Love and soulmate energy are deeply affected here, but not in the way movies portray. Instead of fireworks, you feel discernment, instead of urgency, you feel patience, and instead of confusion, you feel calm recognition. And listen carefully. Calm does not mean lack of attraction, it means safety replacing adrenaline. Your heart needs this right now because love meant for you will not destabilize your nervous system. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael says if someone cannot meet you without triggering self-doubt, anxiety, or emotional overextension, they cannot walk with you into what's next, and this realization may feel sobering, but it is also deeply liberating. Listen to this, you are not rejecting love, you are refining it. Don't scroll. Signs from the universe continue here, but they appear as alignment rather than instruction. Things flow when you don't force them, delays disappear when you stop resisting them, and opportunities arise that don't require you to compromise your peace. And these are not coincidences, they are confirmations that your path is stabilizing. Your heart needs this right now because ease is evidence, not laziness. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael also speaks to your relationship with effort during this phase. You may feel a strong internal no to pushing, proving, or hustling your way forward, and listen carefully, that resistance is not avoidance, it is wisdom recognizing that effort without alignment creates exhaustion, not fulfillment. Your heart needs this right now because aligned action feels lighter even when it's meaningful. Don't scroll. You may notice moments where fear tries to return, whispering that things are moving too slowly, that you should be doing more, that you might miss something, and Archangel Michael says this is the final echo of urgency leaving your system. not a sign you should listen to it. Listen to this: what is meant for you will not require panic to arrive. Don't scroll. This phase also asks you to trust what is not happening, the conversations that never occur, the conflicts that dissolve without explanation, the paths that quietly close without drama, and listen carefully. Absence is guidance too. Sometimes the universe protects you by removing the need to decide. Your heart needs this right now because peace often arrives disguised as simplicity. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to see how much stronger you are now, not louder, not harder, but steadier. You no longer react from old wounds, you respond from clarity, and that shift alone has redirected your future more than any single decision ever could. Listen to this: stability is power that doesn't need to announce itself. Don't scroll. As this part draws to a close, take a moment to notice how grounded you feel, how the fear that once rushed you feels quieter, how your body feels safer holding stillness. That is not temporary, that is alignment settling into your life. Archangel Michael confirms this gently but firmly: what is rearranging now is not falling apart, it is falling into place, and because you stayed present instead of scrolling away, you are witnessing the truth most people miss. Destiny doesn't arrive as chaos, it arrives as clarity, and clarity always brings peace before it brings change, and what comes next will not need to convince you, rush you, or overwhelm you. It will feel natural, mutual, and unmistakably aligned, because your life is finally responding to who you truly are now, not who you used to be. Don't scroll. Listen to this all the way through, because if you are here for part 5, Archangel Michael is now speaking to the ceiling of the shift, the moment where alignment stops asking for your attention and starts supporting you automatically, and your heart needs this right now because this is where confidence becomes quiet and unshakable. Listen carefully. There comes a point after awareness, after clarity, after boundaries, where you realize you are no longer bracing for impact, no longer scanning for what might go wrong, no longer rehearsing explanations in your mind, and that realization can feel almost emotional because you didn't know how much energy fear had been consuming until it finally loosened its grip. Don't scroll. This message is for you because peace has begun to feel normal, not temporary, not fragile, and that is the clearest sign that your future has locked into a new direction. Listen to this: Archangel Michael says when peace becomes normal, your nervous system has accepted safety as a baseline, and from that baseline, your decisions become cleaner, your intuition becomes faster, and your life becomes lighter without losing depth. Your heart needs this right now because stability is not stagnation, it is freedom without chaos. Don't scroll. This is the phase where self-trust completes its formation. You no longer need constant reassurance, signs, or validation to move forward. You feel a quiet yes or no inside your body and you honor it without debate, and that alone rewrites every future interaction you will have. Listen to this: honoring your inner knowing consistently is what turns awareness into destiny. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to recognize how different you handle uncertainty now. Instead of spiraling, you pause. Instead of forcing answers, you allow them to arrive, and instead of assuming the worst, you wait for clarity with confidence, and this shift is monumental even if it feels subtle. Your heart needs this right now because patience rooted in trust is strength, not delay. Don't scroll. Love and soulmate energy are fully recalibrated here. You are no longer magnetized by intensity, inconsistency, or emotional roller coasters. You are drawn to presence, honesty, and mutual effort. And listen carefully, this doesn't mean you've lowered standards or closed your heart. It means your heart finally recognizes safety as attractive. Your heart needs this right now because love that lasts feels calm, not chaotic. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael says if someone enters your life now, they will meet you where you stand, not where you used to be. They will not need to pull you into confusion to feel connected, and they will not feel threatened by your boundaries, because boundaries protect connection, they don't weaken it. Listen to this, the right connection feels like collaboration, not negotiation. Don't scroll. Signs from the universe now appear as alignment rather than instruction, doors open without pressure, conversations flow without rehearsing, and opportunities arise that respect your pace, and these signs are confirmations that you are no longer off-path correcting, you are on-path continuing. Your heart needs this right now because ease is the language of alignment. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael also speaks to your sense of purpose here. You may notice that your goals feel more meaningful and less urgent, less about proving something to the world and more about building a life you can actually inhabit, and that shift matters, because purpose rooted in peace sustains you instead of consuming you. Listen to this, fulfillment grows where exhaustion ends. Don't scroll. You may still encounter moments where the old version of you tries to resurface, whispering that you should do more, give more, tolerate more, and Archangel Michael says those whispers are not instructions, they are reminders of how far you've come, and you no longer have to obey them. Your heart needs this right now because growth does not require constant struggle to continue. Don't scroll. This phase also brings a deep sense of closure without drama. Chapters end quietly, expectations dissolve gently, and you realize you don't need final conversations or perfect understanding to move forward. Clarity has already done its work. Listen to this, closure happens internally before it ever happens externally. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that from this point forward, your life will not demand urgency to prove alignment. It will respond naturally to your presence, your honesty, and your peace, and that response will feel steady rather than explosive. Your heart needs this right now because lasting change rarely announces itself loudly. Don't scroll. Take a moment to notice how your body feels listening to this, grounded, steady, less tense. That is not coincidence, that is your system recognizing truth, and truth always feels settling rather than stimulating. Listen to this, calm is the body's confirmation that you are safe to move forward. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael confirms this with unwavering certainty as this part comes to a close. The reason this message found you, the reason you stayed, the reason everything feels different now is because the shift is complete, not perfect, not finished, but stable. And stability is what allows blessings to stay instead of pass through. Your heart needs this right now because you are no longer preparing for your future, you are living inside its foundation, and from here, what arrives will not shake you, rush you, or test you. It will fit, it will recognize you, and it will grow with you, because you finally chose a path that does not require you to lose yourself to walk it. And that choice has permanently changed the way your life responds to you. Don't scroll. Listen to this all the way to the very end, because if you are still here now, this message has reached its final purpose, and your heart needs this right now in a way that words usually struggle to explain. But stay with me, because this is not just an ending. This is a confirmation, a sealing, a moment where Archangel Michael stands with you and says, you didn't imagine any of this, and listen carefully, because the fact that you stayed until the end already tells a story about who you are becoming. Most people leave when the noise fades, when there's no more suspense to chase, but you stayed because something in you recognized truth without needing drama. And Archangel Michael says that recognition is the mark of readiness. Listen to this. Your life did not begin shifting because you tried harder, manifested louder, or waited longer. It shifted because you finally stopped abandoning yourself, because you paused when you would have panicked, because you chose clarity over comfort, and because you listened when your intuition whispered instead of waiting for it to scream, and that choice quietly rewrote your future in ways you will only fully understand later. Your heart needs this right now because this is where fear releases its final grip, not with force, but with relief, and you may feel it, that deep exhale in your chest, that calm in your body, that sense that something heavy you carried for years has finally been set down without ceremony. Don't scroll. This message is for you because Archangel Michael wants you to know that peace is not something you arrive at after everything is solved. Peace is the evidence that you are finally aligned with yourself, and alignment is what allows everything else to fall into place naturally. Listen to this, the universe has already responded to your shift, not with chaos or urgency, but with precision and protection, conversations that didn't happen because they didn't need to, delays that saved you from repeating old pain, endings that felt quiet instead of devastating, and openings that will arrive without asking you to shrink, rush, or overextend yourself. Your heart needs this right now because divine timing doesn't announce itself loudly, it reveals itself gently. Don't scroll. Love and soulmate energy are also sealed differently now, because the love meant for you will not test your worth, confuse your emotions, or drain your nervous system. Recognition will feel calm, mutual, and safe, and if someone faded as you chose alignment, listen carefully, they weren't taken from you, they were released because they could not meet you where you are now. Archangel Michael says the love that comes next will recognize your peace as strength, not distance, and will never require you to trade your calm for closeness. Your heart needs this right now because you are done mistaking intensity for destiny. Don't scroll. Signs from the universe will continue, but they will feel different now. Angel numbers will no longer feel like warnings or wake-up calls, they will feel like quiet acknowledgments. 1111 landing like a soft yes, 2. 22 like balance holding steady, for 44 like reassurance when you rest instead of forcing progress, because you no longer need to be redirected, you are already walking aligned. Your heart needs this right now because self-trust has fully activated. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael wants you to hear this final truth clearly. Choosing alignment did not make your life smaller, slower, or less meaningful. It made it honest, and honesty removes unnecessary suffering, unnecessary repetition, unnecessary fear, and from this moment forward, what enters your life will not require endurance to keep it. It will not demand you explain your worth, and it will not confuse you to stay alive. Listen to this, you are no longer building a future on survival, you are building it on presence, and presence changes everything. Don't scroll. You may still face challenges, but you will face them rested instead of depleted, grounded instead of reactive, and because of that, they will not define you the way they once did. Your heart needs this right now because strength no longer means carrying more, it means carrying yourself with integrity. Don't scroll. Archangel Michael confirms this with unwavering calm. You did not miss your moment, you did not arrive late, and you did not choose wrong. This was your moment, and staying to the very end was the sign that you were ready to receive it. Feel that certainty settle, not in your thoughts, but in your body, because that is where truth lives now, and this is why the audience that stays until the very end is different. Endings don't end here, they activate, and from this moment forward, your future will respond to your presence instead of your panic, your peace instead of your fear, your awareness instead of your autopilot, and everything that comes next will meet you with the same calm, clarity, and protection you just chose. Stay with this feeling for one last breath, because this isn't goodbye. This is alignment sealed, destiny redirected, and a new chapter beginning quietly, powerfully, and exactly on time, because you listened, you stayed, and you trusted yourself enough not to scroll away.